writes, can you picture Ice Cube taking over for J.K. Simmons in the role of J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU?
I'm going to need you to read that
Ice Cube
question
taking
again.
over for J.K. Simmons in the role of J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU.
I don't hate that, actually.
Wow.
I couldn't believe what I was hearing, so I needed it
Hear it
reread.
twice.
And then I think about Ice Cube because, look, I want J.K. Simmons back. I'll be honest with you. I want J.K. Simmons back a lot more than I want Liev Schreiber back as Sabretooth. I don't think that he's coming back. And if he's not coming back, we need somebody else. We need to do it differently. Ice Cube, when you watch him in the 21 and 22 Jump Street movies, that is hysterical, and that's kind of what you want out of J. Jonah Jameson. So I never thought about it before. I never put two and two together. It's kind of a good idea, right?
So, Parker, get over here. I can't even do an Ice Cube, but I could see it. I could see him yelling and freaking out and flipping a desk. 21 Jump Street, perfect. Like his tryout audition to be J. Jonah Jameson. I should buy that T-shirt of Ice-T with a bunch of ice cubes floating in it.
With a haircut, too.
Yeah, I love it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's a great suggestion.
It's funny, like part of me why I love it is because of the fact that he's done it on 21, 22 Jump Street. The other reason I don't like it is because he's already done it on 21 and 22 Jump Street. It's like I'm just worried that he would do it. Like he's just doing the same thing that he did in 21 and 22 Jump Street. But then it's like he's so good at that. So I wouldn't hate if he got cast. I just know that those comments would come in after he did, but he's basically doing the same thing.
All right, Ashley, what's up?
Alexander Burton writes, with all of the films coming out on Netflix and none coming out into theaters, is Adam Sandler's non-Netflix movie career over?
I'm not going to weep for Adam Sandler. I mean, the dude's making bank no matter what he does. I don't know. The next project that he does that's on Netflix has got to be something where he's collaborating with somebody else. It's going to be hard for Adam Sandler to open a movie. But look, Western comedies, it's tough to buy into a Western comedy in general, whether it's The Ridiculous Six or Lightning Jack or whatever else you have since Blazing Saddles set the bar so incredibly high. You just can't surpass it. So if he does do another Netflix movie, he'll probably, like he did in Ridiculous Six, recruit a lot of his friends, but it's got to be more of a mainstream premise, I think, to get the audience. Yes, Christian.
What?
Your hand is like, it's like
going like this.
It's like a thing from the Addams Family.
You're very
just is like
concerned.
crawling up.
I was literally scratching
He's
my head.
worried.
Yes,
He's
yes,
worried
yes,
about
yes.
you. He's worried about you.
This
He's
hand,
worried.
this hand's about to do some major
I was
damage.
literally scratching my hand.
You were like,
Can you tell these
I was
guys
an
spend a lot of
invisible
time
kitten.
together? They're judging each other's movements. Like, what are you trying to say?
Just stop.
My hand is itchy. But what are you really trying to say? I'm touching my palm in a weird way. It's time for you to shut up or be funny. I don't know. It's just my hand.
That actually encapsulates our entire relationship.
It does.
Christian, what was your thought on
I'm
this
not going to tell you now. What the hell are we talking about?
Ice Cube and Ice T together again.
We just talked about Ice Cube.
Oh
No,
my
we're talking
gosh.
about whether Adam Sandler has a career on Netflix or not.
What I think Adam Sandler should do is go back to dramatic acting. Like, the guy is a really good dramatic actor, man. I mean, Punch Drunk Love and Spanglish and...
Even Wedding Singer.
Wedding Singer, but even
though it's a comedy.
even the funny people, funny
funny
people,
people. Funny people,
yeah, funny people. So like when he's able to tap into that dramatic side, he's really likable. He's really believable. I get why he was doing all the.
Right.
I get all that.
Oh,
Because
for a long
it was
time.
making a lot of money.
Yeah.
Even the crappy ones, Jack and Jill, all those movies, they made money. But now it's starting to go away. Dude, get back into dramatic acting. You're good at it. There are a lot of people, comedic actors, that would die to do what he does. He's really good. So I'd like to see him, if he's going to do a Netflix movie or a Netflix series, do something on like cast Adam Sandler in like a Netflix series. That's the way for him to get out of that hole.
Yeah, Pixels would scare me. That performance at the box office is like, dude, you better do Grown Ups 3 or come in with a great premise, or just do a smaller movie. Not as tiny and as poorly reviewed as The Cobbler ended up being, but something in that vein is what I would say.
Now, is that something that you would want to see Adam Sandler do? I know everyone's like, hey, I agree with you. Punch Drunk Love was great, but you need a great script and you need a great director before you can get that performance
just
out
do
of
dramatic
That's
to
what
do
I'm saying.
dramatic.
Before you can
Right,
get that performance out of Adam Sandler, his basic go-to is to go hang out with his buddies and make a silly film that's fun for them to make. And if the audience likes it, who cares? It's like they're making something that's fun for them to make, and that's kind of what I get from most of his films. So will he push himself to have outside people like, I want to do a Netflix series, I'm going to hire these writers, this director, I'm going to push myself? But is that what the audience actually wants? Is that what Adam Sandler fans want?
I'm an Adam Sandler fan. I just want to laugh again.
Yeah. Well,
Exactly. You want Happy Gilmore
Yeah.
too, so he should make that.
But I think if you look at something like what Kevin Smith is doing right now, Kevin Smith is clearly making movies just for himself, whether it be Yoga Hosers or Tusk. He's making, and he says as much. He's doing movies for himself, and the budgets are nothing.
Right.
He's doing it. Adam Sandler is making those movies with his friends with huge budgets.
Right.
So that is going to get pricey if they're not making
But
money.
I don't think they're for himself anymore. I think that they're trying to appeal to a mass audience.
Right.
It's just so hard to do that if you don't care about it anymore.
Well, yeah,
So-
Ridiculous Six falls into the idiocracy audience, so there is an audience there. So I mean, unfortunately, you don't really want those people to be. That's like, let's make a funnier film, is what I'd say.
Yeah. All right. So Ashley, we're going to do one more. What question has Twitter
one
handed
more.
us?
All right. Marcus Howard writes, has studio interference with a project ever made a movie better? If not, why do they still continue to do it?
Look, I think it has. I'm sure that a studio has come in and said, we got to stop this ship. This is going really, really bad right now. I wish I had some studio heads interfering with what's happening on set. I just don't have that kind of clout yet. So, look, if you're a studio and you come in and you fix a movie, the problem is you're not going to get any credit for it. Nobody's going to say, man, that studio really came in and saved that movie. It's just not going to happen like that, but you will get blamed for it. That's the thing. Again, like if you direct a movie, that it's going to be your praise or your blame. If you're the studio that makes a movie, people are just going to hate you because you're in suits and you have cigars and you greenlight stuff and you don't give the green light to other movies. So when a movie comes out and it's good, it's all because the artist fought against the system. And when a movie's bad, they're usually going to blame the system, right?
Well, for sometimes in certain cases, yes, certain cases, no. I mean, check out any article you've ever read from any director who's made a film with Harvey Weinstein. You've heard horror stories because he basically manhandles the film, takes it away, and re-edits it. So that's kind of what he does. So if you get in bed with Harvey Weinstein and you're not Quentin Tarantino, your film is not going to be your film when you're done with it. And you either accept that or you don't, because that's those rules of the game. It's a certain thing when you sign on to do a production with anybody, you got to know who you're playing with. And it's like there's certain, team members or production companies where you're like, look, we're all working on this together. I'm making a film, but I know in the end run I'm making a film for this mass audience. So I'm gonna trust the producers or the company that I'm working for to come in and like make suggestions to change certain things. If you're making your own independent film that you wrote, you produced, you're directing, it's your vision, try to make it yourself as much as possible and keep everyone else's hands out of the pocket, because that way it stays true to exactly what you're trying to do. If you're making a production, like I'm sure Zootopia had a lot of producers involved and they were making it for a mass audience. So that's what happens is like, hey, what if we added this scene? Somebody else maybe, what about sloths? It's a team effort. So that's how I look at it, from the writer to the producer to the director to the actual company itself. Is a team effort.
Harloff, you trust the fat cats?
Listen, make no mistake about it. Every studio film has studio people involved. It is the way that it works. You're working at Warner Brothers for about 3 years. It is constant. Now, the thing is, it's when you hear about it. When it goes wrong and someone is complaining about it, that's when we go, leave them alone, studio. And there are certainly those times, in those cases, it happens a lot. It's when the really good movies do. You don't think that Christopher Nolan had some assistance from, I think, like Greg Silverman, Jeff Robinoff when he was making those movies over Warner Bros.? Of course he did. Now, did he rely on them all the time? No, it was a lot of, they trusted in him and he trusted in them to let him do certain things. It's a collaborative process with what they do at the studio. You find some executives that you really work with as filmmakers. You need the executives to do stuff, and they do, and there are really great executives out there too. And you look at somebody like what J.J. Abrams comes out, who's one of the first people that he thanks. He thanks Alan Horn. He thanks Bob Iger, because those are people who are working right now. And the movie was successful. It's when things start to go being a disaster and things, then everyone starts pointing fingers, and we as fans, when we hear the negative, we go, leave our favorite people alone, because we don't know the suits, we don't know their names, we don't care about them, because we care about the people that we're watching and that are making the things we love.
Yeah, Disney, not a bad example of a studio that will definitely have say in it, but they kind of let the artist be the artist. By Converse, 1977, Fox is like, we can't give George Lucas an unlimited amount of money here, so we're only going to give you this amount of money, go make a movie. That ended up working out okay too. All right, so if you're a studio, collaborate, don't dominate.
Hey guys, if you like this clip, click here to watch the entire episode. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel because it'll help you stay up to date with all the stuff we've got going on here at Collider.